Joined once again by Taylor Bradford of the Gloucester Times with a big story that she broke today about local parishes cutting staff. Taylor?
Hey guys, so as of Monday, Reverend James kind of announced from the Catholic community of Gloucester and Rockport that they're going to be having to make drastic changes to their staff and to the financial what they need to do for the financials as they kind of try to navigate COVID-19, especially now that they're not having public masses and what that looks like for him and his team. So he was saying in his letter that he kind of sent out to the brothers and sisters of the Catholic community that he will actually be not taking any salary for the months of March and April, and they're having to be experiencing a lot of either cuts, furloughs, or cuts in salary or layoffs of both their pastoral staff and their custodial staff as they try to navigate what's going on during this time. And he says that all this financial kind of uncertainty and what's going on is really due to the Archdiocese of Boston's inability to give any financial assistance to the parishes during this time. He sent this in a letter, and you could tell by his writing this letter that there was frustration with the Archdiocese of Boston. However, we were not able to contact him nor other parishes yesterday. I tried to get in contact with them via email and phone. They did not answer. So kind of the details of, the underlying frustration or, what does it mean for the future? The only thing that letter kind of explained was that they're not sure if this is temporary or permanent, but they're going to try to do everything in their power to make sure that, these people are supported and the community is supported in Gloucester and Rockport. I know that as of yesterday, he also announced that over the weekend they had an opportunity for people to come and bring ties in a very socially distancing kind of way and try to support the parishes as needed. And there's online donations as well. But as of this time, they're having to make these drastic cuts, as is a lot of other companies and businesses and churches around the area. So that's kind of what we had breaking yesterday to kind of see how churches, specifically those within the Catholic Church, are being affected by COVID-19, and kind of what's ahead at this point is kind of uncertain.
Taylor, what kind of numbers are we talking about? How many people are staff and custodial in both the Gloucester and Rockport churches?
So I couldn't figure that out. That's actually a question that I had. Two questions that I wanted to ask that because I was unable to receive a notification from them was how many people are within their community going to be affected by this, because you have your pastoral team and your custodial staff. That's a lot of people for two parishes. And so I'm not quite sure. I also wasn't sure. He had mentioned that because the staffing isn't necessarily going to receive unemployment insurance, which is a huge problem. He said that, some people might receive assistance from the CARE Act. I wanted to ask, what does that mean? What part of the CARE Act might be assisting them in this? However, I was not able to get that information in time for publication, nor has he received anything further since. So we'll kind of see what happens. And if I get a notification, I'll definitely let you guys know. So
this group will fall under that self-employed category where they have not contributed to unemployment insurance. So they're technically ineligible, but Governor Baker is trying to work out that through, and with those funds that are coming from the CARES Act, I think, right? But that's still a question mark for a lot of people. And now these people, the staff at the churches. So what is have you heard anything from the congregation, what their reaction is to this?
No, none at this moment. I know that it came out as of yesterday, and so kind of things are pretty raw, and so people's contact are pretty limited at the moment. And that's something that we will develop as we kind of are able to touch base. I think one thing is hard with social distancing is trying to reach out to people other than phone. It's kind of difficult, especially as we're kind of all working remotely. And so if anybody does have any thoughts or kind of comments on the issue and wants to talk about it, I know both at the news and I know at the community level, people are more than willing to listen and hear what people have to say. But as of this moment, we don't have any responses to his statement on Monday.
Well, I can tell you, Taylor, online, the Archdiocese has taken a beating because people are angry and frustrated, want to know where the money's going. And of course, because the church doesn't pay taxes, that's why these folks aren't qualified for unemployment insurance. So we can keep an eye on that too.
Right. Yeah, that explains that. I was thinking that they were considered contract workers or self-employed, but if the church doesn't pay taxes, that makes Yeah, settles that. Yeah. There's a lot of blurry area between church and state, it seems, in this conversation.
Yeah. We've been seeing a lot too is right, they're not doing public masses, but you can see on their websites, Father James is doing a lot of different discussions and posting, homilies online, and even not in the Catholic Church, but you see, churches all over the community are doing online platforms. And so, shifting the conversation from, okay, what's going to happen to these staff members and custodial staff, but really what are they continue to do for the community? And so trying to see, okay, the services are continuing to happen in different ways, but how are those who are able to serve the community, how are they being supported, especially by the Archdiocese of Boston? And right now that's a bit unclear, which is really unfortunate. So
it's very sad. Well, we will look forward to any sort of follow-ups on this story. And what else are you working on this week?
Yeah, so we're, again, continuing to cover COVID-19, see how the city, at this point, it's really seeing how is the city adapting to this new normal, because we've kind of passed the 2-week period of the pandemic being very fresh, and now we're starting to see things are still happening and ramping up, and we're continuing to see more cases coming through Gloucester, 22 cases as of yesterday. But now people are trying to figure out, okay, how do I continue on with life, right? How do I continue to take property taxes? That's something that I've been looking into today. Is we have real estate tax. The deadline May 1st is coming up, and so people are asking, will I be able to get an extension on my real estate tax bill? I can't make ends meet this month. Can I get extension for that, or can I get relief for that? And at this point, they're not saying that they can. I know Mayor Romeo posted on Facebook this morning kind of saying that it's not really within the city's jurisdiction, it's more on the state level. And I know that Governor Baker had proposed a bill to kind of provide that relief, but as of right now, that's all still within the process. So kind of looking at, how do we do our things that we do month to month to month? How do we continue to do those in the midst of this pandemic? And what does it look like and how does it change? Sean Horgan has some things going on, looking at the fishing industry again, people selling. How do we support the local fishermen and how the local fishermen supporting local restaurants? So that's definitely going to be in there. Then I'm also looking for the healthcare workers. How are the healthcare workers being supported within this? Because they're the ones who are on the front lines taking care of all the different people who are sick or, either it's confirmed or speculated to be having COVID-19. They're working over hours. And so will they have to use sick time for the time in which they're serving that go beyond their kind of contracted hours? So kind of looking at that both at the local and state level. So definitely keep out look for those things, and more stories will develop as we continue on to report. So.
Well, great work, Taylor. We'll be in touch later this week. And as always, stay safe and be well. And we'll talk to you soon.
You as well. Thanks, guys.